Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's local newspaper, it reports about Potter Heigham being flooded once again, and to me it seems higher than last time. I went and had a look. Once again the water is coming out of the river and running along the road, flooding the road. But as I later saw, somebody had arrived with a tractor and were putting out lots of sandbags to try and stop it. As you can see, the water's, gone over the side of the bank and flooded it. You can't get down the path to the holiday properties. That's totally submerged underwater. A saline surge is predicted for today, so the saline barrier is in use to protect the fish. Due to the flooding, I was unable to go over there to where it is to show you it. Once it's in use, the cruisers are prevented from going in and out of the basin, and there's a great big sign that goes across the metal footbridge. From here you get a good view of how severe the flooding is in Herbert Woods' car park. And the flood barrier is in place. This isn't high tide yet, so I imagine by the time it is, it'll be up to the top of the flood barrier. Further spring tides are predicted for this weekend. The flood wardens will be here, monitoring the situation with the floods and trying to prevent Lathams from getting flooded. Although the water has already gone into the shop, and the shop is still open, the staff are doing a wonderful job. Prior to today's latest spring tide, the water has receded over the marshes, and you can see it has gone down. You can see the greenery, the path has reappeared. But the water from the spring tide will soon be over to this area, and the water will rise again. It's just a continuous battle. It must be at least 6 weeks now that this has been going on for. You sort of think, well, when will it all end? Who knows? I've driven the short distance to Martham, and likewise here, the water level has gone down in the marshes, but with the high tide today, all the water is coming out of the river along the path. It is at least been redirected onto one of these marshes, but the sheer volume of water is just phenomenal. You can't get along the path to any of those riverside properties. No, totally flooded. And the bank, so many people have walked along there that, that's so muddy and wet. Not safe to walk along. It's 2 weeks since I filmed the flooding at Martham, and you may remember this path was virtually, I was going to say underwater. There was some of it I could walk along quite happily, but when I got to the end, you just couldn't get out onto the road. Obviously the bridge is still in a dismantled state. I can't see that being built again. There's definitely less volume of water over the marshes. I'll add the link at the end of this video for the one I filmed 2 weeks ago, and you'll be able to compare the difference. This is the main road down to the boatyard on Cess Road, and I couldn't get out onto this road at all. Wouldn't be able to walk along it because it was so flooded. Those vehicles from the company BAM, they were driving along it, but they had 4x4 vehicles. Nothing else was able to get down here. This is the pathway that I've just walked along. So much clearer today. So much easier to walk along. It's very windy today, but Mum and Dad are showing their cygnets how they can shelter in one of the little dykes, and they are sheltered from the wind in there. So I'm now down at Martham Boatyard and the river. But the pumping station is as far as I can get because, as you can see, the path is flooded all the way along from where I showed you down the other side. Because those other swans have just landed, this one's got very territorial off his patch. He's not happy. I know his feathers are up like that to signify how cross he is, but it's a beautiful sight, I always think, especially with the wind blowing on them. Look at that, so beautiful. He's gone off to chase them away. But I might have discovered what the problem is, what he's trying to protect, because there's a cygnet here. Doesn't look very well at all. And that was very close to where he was, so I think he's just shooing those other ones off to leave it alone. Look, off he goes again. I think he's going to have a very busy afternoon. He doesn't seem as though he's going to be giving up anytime soon. How these have survived all the flooding, I have no idea. A little egret and a heron, both not very impressed with all this strong wind we've got today. If you've enjoyed today's video, first from Potter Heigham and then Martham, just slightly along the river from each other, perhaps you could give it a like for me, as this does help my channel grow. If you haven't already subscribed to me, perhaps you'd like to do that too. And as I always say, you can share any of my videos. Let's hope this all ends soon and we can get back to some kind of normality. If there's any further updates over the weekend with the flooding, the spring tides, the saline surge, or anything else that happens, you know I'll be out there filming it for you. Take care of yourselves, and I'll be back again very soon. Bye for now.